Going live for the first time. I think I might be live. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can get Sam and Sarah in.
You too, and yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I see Sam. Okay, here we go. Sam?
What's up?
We're live. All right. Not much. I just went and walked the dogs and then put on every piece of flower clothing I have.
I like it. Wardrobe change.
It's a wardrobe change for a very special day.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can
I love
get
it.
Sarah in too. Oh, someone told us we're live. That's good. It's working. That's great. Yeah, I don't know if I have to re-invite her. Let's see. Let me just get her sorted. Okay, yeah, she just messaged the link is not working for her, so I'm just going to resend the link. One sec.
The one you texted me worked.
Yeah, that's me. Let's take a look. We can't have a party without Sarah.
That's right. Not this party.
It's not a party without Sarah. Okay, let me get her phone number. I have to do this in a weird way because I can't see her number. Should we give out her number on the internet? No. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. Can't be alive if something doesn't go wrong first, right?
That's right. That's right. You could just perform in between.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just start
your own hold music.
Actually, I think Sam's gonna sing for us while we get Sarah in here.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay, here we go. Texting Sarah and not giving out her number on the internet. Okay, she should have a new link. Let's see if we can get her in. And if anyone hears any dogs or noises, Sam and I both have dogs. I have two. I think you have one, right?
I have one Siberian Husky.
Yeah.
What breed are your doggies?
I have an Australian kettle dog and Sarah.
There she
Welcome
is.
in. Yeah,
What's
I also
up?
not much. We're catching up on
About
dogs.
Nice.
So what are the two breeds, Emily?
Yeah, Australian kettle dog, and then the little mutt is just like a mix of.
Nice.
I don't even know. I just call her basic. She just looks like every other dog. Maybe a lab, pitbull, extra mix. Yeah.
That's
well, here we are. Today's the day. How are you guys feeling?
Woohoo!
Awesome.
Excited.
Yeah, I'm freaking out a little bit. I feel like people don't even know what they're about to see. I think that it's almost a trick of the eye and the mind, and to give people a little insight on what it was actually like to shoot in that space, or the technology, and what we were using. It was foreign to me. I had no idea. It took me a long time to kind of, I guess it took 2 days of the shoot to wrap my head around what was actually happening and all the capabilities of the technology. And when I walked into the room, into the studio, I didn't expect what was sitting there, what was before me. I assumed it was much more sort of green screenish, and I wouldn't see much, and there wasn't, maybe a couple things in the physical space. But what I walked into was a complete Narnia and dream. But do you want to share a little bit? I mean, I'm not the expert on XR, so I don't know if you want to share a little bit on XR itself or the story of how this vision came to be. Maybe we could start there.
Yeah, Sarah, tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I can share a little bit about maybe the technology and how it works, and then we can talk a little bit about the vision. So basically, XR it stands for extended reality. And if you think about kind of what you experience in a VR headset, it's like that, but basically kind of out in the real world. So the camera acts as the VR headset, and as the camera looks around, they're seeing into a virtual world. And this has a great application for film and music video and things like that because you can place talent in a completely CG virtual environment that can be whatever you want it to be. And in our case, it was a magical forest that we were able to just kind of take a journey through that started at dusk and then went through the night and then ended up at sunrise. And the forest was really alive and responsive to the music. And it just gives you so many capabilities. You're able to just basically shoot in any type of environment without any type of limitations. You're not limited by having to be on set at a certain time. You know, if you're going out on vacation, you really can just create whatever you want right there, just inside of a inside environment. As far as the concept, it really kind of started. We've been working in this technology for about 4 years now. And we're always trying to come up with new ideas for how to present it in a different way, different environments that we can come up with. And this kind of started with the idea of having a forest, and we wanted to show this cycle of evening all the way through night and then back to daytime. And we thought music would be a great way to do that because we could also have the environment really respond. Like we wanted to create some audio reactive elements. And one of the best things about XR is that the environment's happening because it's happening in real time. You can put in inputs into it and have the environment basically respond to what those inputs are going to be. So in this case, we were like, well, music would be a great input because we could have different elements in the environment be audio reactive and they could light up at certain beats or notes or things like that. So we kind of had this idea of like having this musically responsive environment that cycled through the night, and we thought a forest would be a really magical environment for
It
that
was.
type of
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
And Sarah, talk about how you guys came up with the how everything would glow and where did that come from?
Yeah, we were just thinking like what would be something that'd be really fun that could be audio reactive in the environment. So we were like, oh, it'd be cool to see different leaves kind of light up on different notes or maybe kind of like on these bigger moments in a song, just kind of have this ripple effect that happens across the landscape. And I'm so excited for people to see that aspect of it too, because we have some really cool moments in the video where you just kind of, as the music's building, you just kind of feel these like moments of like the forest just glowing and lighting up. And so it was really about an idea of like, how can we make the environment feel really responsive to the music and do it in a way that feels really unique and magical.
yeah, and there was even like some of that's a lot of this stuff is happening real time. So we were, seeing it in the space. And then there was seeing the video in post and noticing some extra butterfly or some of those wavy movements. It was it was cool to see or cool to know that the technology also has like a post element. It's you can go beyond. You can, create everything you have in the space and then go further. So it has, the capabilities of something like a green screen and beyond.
Yeah,
It's a very
absolutely.
alive technology. It's really changeable, and it was so fun at the end too, like moving the trees around and changing weather or seeing wind roll through trees that were actually on screen to match the wind that was in the physical space and the flowers. Like I was shocked at how quickly things could be adapted and changed in colors and everything. It was fun to be in it. It was also fun to just stand back and watch the technology performing and changing. And Yeah.
Yeah. And Emily, tell us what it was like when you first walked in and saw it all for the first time. Because I mean, obviously, we described it to you,
Mhm.
and we were like, "Hey, it's like it's happening, and you can see it, but it's not real." What was that
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, I really expected to walk into somewhat of a, you know, a studio with bare walls and sort of like a green screen, and then maybe like a flower to interact with. When I opened the doors, it was like beautiful. I think it was purple. The landscape, and I think there was a 30 by 30 or 40 by 40 um, garden built. So this whole world that was um, this blend of physical and virtual all meeting each other. Um, and then seeing it through, because with the eye, it looks a little bit different than it does through the camera. So the camera really is like what Sarah was saying. To me, the way I sort it out in my brain is that the camera is the goggles. So the screen and the camera are interacting. So looking in the monitors after seeing the screen and the physical enchanted forest garden that was so beautiful. I could have stayed there for like a week. I loved sitting in there. Was wild to see what the camera was actually picking up, because it absolutely looked real and like one world. And I didn't expect to have so much in the room. I I really felt like that helped as someone being in the world, being able to touch the flowers and sit on the moss, and also to turn around and see the world behind me, what was going on, and how alive it was. But yeah, it was much more enchanting and much less, I guess I'll say, scientific or technology or
Didn't
studio
have to play
based.
pretend as much, did you?
Yeah, there is. I just expected more gear and less visuals, but this is really, it really takes you to a place and a world. I mean, it can be anything. I think that's also what's so exciting. We could have been anywhere, and we probably could have changed it on the day. I don't know how quickly that could have happened, but if someone did want a major change, I feel like it could have happened. And um,
Right.
yeah, no, I
And
feel.
before we move away from the world that we built, there's a question. So Emily, Sarah, whoever wants to take this, how did you come up with the settings that you wanted? Because Sarah and the MEPTIK team had been building this a little bit before Emily came on board. And then when we found Emily and Emily was like, yes, I'm down to do this, then we tailored that more toward Emily's vibe. So Sarah, maybe you take where it kind of came from, and then Emily, you can take a where we kind of took it to.
Yeah, the settings were really just the initial thing as far as like, I guess, the scenic that we were focused on was kind of creating this dusk through the night into dawn. And we actually originally started with more of like a tropical forest, like a little bit more rainforest vibes. And once we connected with Emily and heard her song, we were like, no, this needs to go a lot more like magical fairyland forest. And we like add all the flowers with the bloom song, and I think it was just such a perfect fit for that song. And I'm really glad the scene actually took the direction that it did, because I think it just really made it come to life.
Yeah, I also thought that was a neat part of the technology. Like, what if you had built the whole set? Like, what if that was a created, like, physical thing, and then we started collaborating and we needed color changes or desired color changes or change in flowers. Like when we had one of our calls, you were asking even like, what kind of flowers do you like? We could do that, or what kind of colors, we can change them. And I think that flexibility is really fun, and also um, going to be really valuable to a lot of creatives and teams. And artists are always picky about colors or little tiny little changes like that. It's really important to.
Directors are very
Yeah.
picky about colors and things that they
Totally.
that they want and like. So well, and that's what was cool was because I liked ending at the flower scene. And one thing that was awesome was Sarah and the team at MEPTIK. we would be like, oh, so like Josh and Madison were the animators, and then David was the one who was making sure the screen worked and functioned all day and inputted everything right. And so between the three of them, our animations could change or adjust. And it was like there was one point where we were like, okay, we want the flowers back there. Could we, like, and Sarah would even look at it and be like, yeah, we've got too much orange over there. Let's make that more, or it's too much white. Let's go orange. And just the ability to be able to like change the colors in the field of the flowers that you're working with was absolutely wild.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about all this being real time is that it's so easy, relatively easy to make changes right on site. And you can see right in the camera what it's going to look like. You don't have to wait. Like if you're shooting on green screen, you don't have to wait till you get in the post room to figure out what the environment's going to be. Like it's right there happening in camera. Like Emily's saying, like the artist can see exactly what the environment they're going to be in. And one of the great things we're shooting at Arc Studios, which has an awesome LED wall and LED ceiling. And that, I mean, Sam, you can speak to this a little bit about how easy that makes film happen from like a lighting standpoint, because you've got all these great reflections happening from the real
Right.
content right there.
And that's the difference between green screen has always been that it's a green wall behind your subject, and you then change, you light for what you're going to put on that wall, but you don't actually see it other than maybe, drawings or I guess artwork that you're, planning on sending the animation team. But otherwise, it's just been a thing where you had to light your subject and then you're stuck with that lighting. Whereas with XR, there's actual light projected from your background onto your subject. So the light is, and the reflections, even if you're a shiny surface, it interacts with the subject that's in the frame, and the light, it just creates 100 times more real experience in lighting. Just it acts naturally to light and the subject in the frame, and that's absolutely incredible to be able to work with.
Yeah. And it was your first time, right, working with XR?
It was. I've done green screen stuff, but not XR, and it's such a new tech that not a ton of people actually have. So I feel very lucky to have gotten this experience, and
So do
um,
I.
and it's just wild because it is the future in a lot of ways. I don't think green screen will be replaced, but it's a new tool to use, and it's completely immersive in the way it does a lot of what it does, and that's very, very exciting.
Yeah, I think it's like Katy Perry, The Weeknd, and Us, right? There's only a few of these out here or out
It's
now.
very limited at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
So
it'll be used a ton in the future, absolutely. And even to eliminate travel and set deck and weather, you don't have to fight with any weather. You can just create it yourself. Like, I think even a lot of films will head this way, or just
oh
even
yeah,
one-off shoots, parts of films, and like scenes that are hard to create. And it would have, imagine if we traveled to an enchanted forest and had to build this and wait for day and wait for night and hire a bunch of lightning bugs.
right.
Yeah.
It would be impossible. This shoot, potentially couldn't exist without technology. Do you want to talk about a little bit? Do you want to talk a little bit about the arc of the video, or what your vision was, Sam, when you came in to direct it, or what kind of ideas sparked this video?
Yeah. Well, I think for me it was always like, how real can we make this look while living within a enchanted forest? And uh, so to that's where when I was like, we really need a lot of practical environment in the foreground to interact with, because that will allow us to light that and create more depth and foreground to then sell it's just an LED screen with an
Right.
animation on it. But when you sell that with physical in the foreground, it just really, your eye automatically starts to at, at least process it more as, oh, that's real. You just kind of take that for what it is. And that was a big part. And so we brought on Sophia, and she did our art direction for and basically created, yeah, a 30 by 30 garden of ground and flowers and bushes, and it was just
Oh,
it just created a texture and as the kids say now, a vibe, and it was very much a vibe because it just it then would just allow that animation in the background to really come to life.
yeah. I mean, when he says garden, it was a full-on designed garden, the moss and all the different flowers, even vines hanging from trusses. I'm not even sure what they're called, but
Yes.
um, it was it was grand. I hope some people took some flowers home. I hope. I thought about it. I hope somebody did. Maybe she did. But yeah, she did an amazing job of building a very real, enchanted um, forest feeling. It was like something I wanted in my backyard.
Right.
Very
Right.
comfortable to sit in. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was
love,
awesome. Sophia did a great job.
yeah. I love the arc that you brought, Sam. It's sort of, and when we first chatted, sort of the introspection into the bloom, I thought was really neat to match the night and something. When you first told me, I was like, oh, I would have never thought of that. And even just within the arc of the song, I mean, that's pretty much it. Is slowing down to get to the core of who you are and accepting every little piece and every little color and every little journey of yourself to become everything that you are. And um, I think that the story of the video um, accurately tells that and takes people kind of through the dark and into the light, or through the pause into the bloom, which I think happens over and over. Hopefully, we don't have one bloom in all our lives. We have lots.
I think that's life, right? Yeah.
Mhm, yeah, but I think that it really touched on the meaning of the song.
Oh,
Um,
cool. And that's something that Sarah and I were aligned with early on when I came on board. Sarah and MEPTIK were already building this and had, put in so many hours. And so when we heard your song and that's the direction that everyone was on board with going with, it then became, well, because Sarah and the team had always mapped that day through night. Um, and it then became like, where in the song emotionally is it best to go to the sunset, and then or to the moon to go down and to go through
yeah,
the night and then
yeah.
reach that sunrise. And that was cool because you gave us that song to marry those images with, and that really took it to the next level.
It was
Yeah, I felt
very,
like it aligned so perfectly with that journey of personal development, like figuring out who you are, like having this kind of dark, I don't know, dark night of the soul almost in some ways, figuring out, you know, searching yourself and understanding, who you are, and then really kind of emerging and looking at this like new environment in front of you, new horizon as a new person, really understanding yourself that much more and ready to give the world this new version of yourself. It felt like it aligned really well.
oh, thank you. I sometimes write music without knowing what anything's about. I like to dive in there and just start, and I feel like more and more I'm like getting the answers of what this song was. And um it came from a line in a book, and um something I read that morning, and then I went to a write, and we wrote the song, and then this opportunity came about and it turned into a video. I just love that art kind of inspires itself, and this is the craziest video I've ever been a part of. And I'm really feeling lucky to have worked with you both and everyone at Gear 7 and MEPTIK and Arc Studios and Tone Tree. Everyone who touched this video um, was a beautiful soul, I felt. So I just feel really lucky. And I know we're gonna get cut off this live in I think a minute or two. So before that happens, I just want to acknowledge everyone that worked really hard. And before I even knew them, you guys were working on this video, and and everyone there on the days too. There was a crew of probably about 30, 35, maybe more. And then everyone in post and everyone who's going to be sharing it today and supporting. And I just want to acknowledge everyone that worked really, really hard to create this video and have it come to life. And everyone who's going to see it, you're in for some technology magic. And I hope we can share more and more of behind the scenes, because people are not going to believe it was shot in one room. It's a wild world that you created, and very, very excited for people to see it. Okay, I think we're gonna get kicked off anytime. Do you want to say any last woohoos or what's ups or hi to your moms or family members?
I'll say real quick, thanks to you, Emily, for being just such an incredible artist to work with. I mean, I loved like seeing your vision and how that played into the whole forest and the environment, and then just putting out such great art into the world. It's just such a pleasure to work with you on this. So thank you.
Thank you. And vice versa.
Same, Emily. Thank you, and Sarah, thank you, and Gear 7, yeah, Art Studios, MEPTIK, everyone, and then again, like Emily was saying earlier, that you know, it's a team effort, and these things don't happen at this scale or at any scale, really, doing it all on your own, and it is such a team effort. There's so many people. So in the coming days, I'm sure we'll put out a credits list of everyone who was involved. But everyone just really, and was essential. Everyone was essential, and it could not have been done without everyone who helped out and did their job on the days. And yeah, really put in the hours. And Team MEPTIK, you guys, wow, you guys really put in a lot of hours in the animation side, and it really showed. And thank you for everyone, you know, working weekends and everything to make it happen.
Yeah, and also thank you, Sam. I mean, your vision and bringing it all together, like it was an incredible experience, like collaborating with you and really bringing this whole piece to life. So thank you.
Cool. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. All right. I think it's 1 minute away, so we'll probably head over to the premiere. I think it's going to start. And
let's do it.
But yeah, lots of bloom love your way. Take care, and we'll be seeing each other online some more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Sounds good.
Woo!